we're recording. Hi guys. So we are so excited. Okay, like we are so freaking pumped to come to you guys and share everything that we learned. We actually all got invited to our CEO Mark Pentecost's ranch, which is so cool because it's like his second home. It was really cool being there. Like the whole experience was just absolutely incredible. And so we wanted to come on here and basically just share our takeaways with you guys. And I do want to say, please keep yourselves muted. I've already had to mute a few people. So if you guys could keep yourselves muted, that would be awesome. Hold on, I'm going to try to spotlight myself. Okay. So I want you guys to honestly, like, get your boomerangs, get your phones out, right? Like obviously show this on your stories, but take notes, please listen to everything that we had to say, because obviously, like, I don't know about y'all, but I got my notes that I wrote down while we were sitting there because I'm just so excited to share everything that we learned. I feel like going into this, I really didn't know what to expect. This was actually my first like big event like that. I mean, drop a one if you've been to conference, right? Drop a one. Let me see who's been to conference. Because when I tell you guys, this experience was like conference on like steroids, basically. Like it was so much fun, and it was way more like connective. Like I felt like I got to have one-on-one conversations with a lot of leaders that I didn't know. I got to meet a lot of girls that I didn't know. Obviously a lot of us, we get excited talking to each other, right? But it's different when you get to talk to girls on other teams, to hear what they're doing, see where obviously they're having success in their business, get to talk to them, get advice from them, give advice to them. And that was really cool. I think basically for me, like one of the things that I really lacked for last year, and like drop it to if you relate, is like that connection with other people again. I feel like we got a glimpse of that at conference at the beginning of the year, or you're going to get a glimpse of that at conference in September. But we didn't get, Mark and Cindy, seeing them on stage. Like we didn't get that part. And so getting to see them in person, I've never had a one-on-one conversation with either of them, or even been in like, arm's length away from either of them. So seeing them, I was like, oh my God, they're real. Like, holy cow, I see them in person. Like they're not on a computer screen. They're not like on, what is that thing called? Like the Megatron, like, or whatever it's called. I can't think. It's not called Megatron. That's from Transformers. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. You guys know what I mean. Not the basketball shows with like the little screens, but basically Jumbotron, I remembered it was not Megatron for the Transformers fans. You guys are laughing at me. But I just want you guys to actually like realize that these events are something you want to go to, right? And I don't want you guys to ever count yourselves out. So one of the things that I wanted to start with was counting yourself out, because I feel like so many of us do, right? We count ourselves out. We think, oh my God, I'm not a big mass enroller, right? There's no way I'm going to make it. That's not who I am. And for me, I thought that, right? Even though some of you may look at me and be like, oh my God, she's such a mass enroller. I counted myself out. I told all the girls here, I was like, I literally didn't think I was going to go. Like I had no clue that I was going to, like my name was going to be called. And so the fact that they did, I was like, holy cow, like I really thought, like I really counted myself out without giving myself an honest chance. So I'm telling you that the island is something you guys want to go to. And even if you're brand new and you're watching this, right? Or you're watching this a day later and you've had a crappy day, I don't care. I want you guys to seriously stay focused and realize you need to get to these events so that you can like stay close to the fire, because as great as these Zooms are, and we're so happy to bring them to you guys, we really are. I'm so glad we're doing this, but I want you guys to know it's so much different when you're physically there. When you are physically there around everyone, hearing everyone's stories, and just feeling the support and the love and encouragement and fire from everybody else, it's totally different. So basically what I was going to talk about tonight, there was actually a panel on the corporate day. So the first day, we basically spent the entire day at Mark's Ranch, swamp buggy rides, horseback riding, doing all the fun things, and obviously just like enjoying our time with everybody. And then the second day was our day at corporate. So if you've been to corporate, you know how cool it is. And if you haven't been, it's freaking cool. It's really cool seeing Mark's office and just like seeing obviously where they have all the panels and everything. I know they do a lot of recording there. And so basically for me, they did a panel, and it was like the Parkers, Amber and Josh Parker. It was like the whole field team, and Cammie and Kyler, which are Mark's kids. And so basically what I really loved is Josh Parker, who is a part of the field team, and Kyler, they kept talking about, what do you want? What do you want? They were like, there are 4 words that I really want you guys to remember at all times is like, what do you want? And I don't know why this stuck with me so much. I think it's because he said that so many people will decide what they want and they know the steps to take to make it happen, but it's executing those steps is where you fall short. Now, drop a 3 if you relate to that. Like, you know what you want and you know what you should do, but it's taking those steps every single day. That's where you're lacking. And he goes, that's what separates you from everybody else. You have to be the person that even if you don't want to do it, you do it, because those steps, those action steps, you probably don't want to do them. You probably don't. How many of us, and I'm being be totally transparent with me, yes or no in the chat, do you want to take 20 minutes and self-develop every day? Do you actually want to do it every single day? Yes or no in the chat. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. I don't want to self-develop every day. Every single day. I don't want to sit down, because you want to know what? Those 20 minutes that I'm like set aside to self-develop, I'm like, oh, those can be spent working. Those could be spent cleaning my apartment. My mind's good. Like I'm good today. Like I don't really need to sit down and journal, right? And that's crap, guys. You have to continue to do it. It's like taking a day off of this business. It'll catch up to you. So whether you think it helps you, that you need it in that moment, it helps you no matter what. And another leader said that. She was like, the biggest thing is self-development for my girls. I feel like I'm pulling them to do it all the time. And we shouldn't be pulling our girls to do it. We as the girls should be forcing ourselves to do it in the best way, right? And as much as I don't want to use the word forcing, you have to like actually be disciplined in this business. And that requires you to forcing yourself to get up off the couch watching Netflix and come and journal or pray or like, meditate or whatever speaks to you guys. And I want you guys to know how important that is, that you can't forget that, because that's not what you want to do. So I'm here to tell you that to get to where you want to go, those of you, I want you to drop your goals in the chat below. What do you want? Tell me what you want, right? What do you guys want? Do you guys want, $10,000 a month? Do you guys want a certain promotion? Do you guys want to help your girls? Like, what do you want, right? I'm talking to you. What do you want? Put it in the chat. I love these. Oh my God, they're all so different. I love this. Okay, awesome. And now tell me yes or no in the chat. Do you know how to make that happen? Like you know the steps you need to do to make that happen, right? Right. So why hasn't it happened for you yet? If it's what you want so badly and you know exactly what to do, now the question is, why hasn't it happened? Because all those things like self-development, 10 host posts, following, messaging 200 people a day, whatever you need to do, following up. Let's talk about following up. How many of us let a day go by without sending our follow-ups? You'll do it. I've done it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and like try to BS you guys. I've done it. Guilty. Yes. You have to do those things, because the steps that are required to get where you want to go, all of them are things that you don't want to do. They are literally things you don't want to do. He said that. He goes, there's steps you don't feel like doing, but you need to do. So you're never going to feel like you want to do them, but you have to do them, you guys. You have to do them. And I want you to know also another thing that could be holding you back, for those of you that are like, Haley, no, I do it all. I do it. I do it all, and I do it every day. We know you're lying, but okay, I'll entertain you for 5 seconds, okay? It's because you're not grateful for where you are right now. That's why you're not leveling up. You have to be grateful. Amber Parker said something that shook me to my soul. She goes, so many of you guys, you want this, like, how many of you, let's take a vote here. How many of you are like $10,000 a month? Sign me up. I work hard for that. Drop a 1. You think that you deserve $10,000 a month? Yes, like drop a 1 if you think that you deserve that. And you put in the work and you think that you deserve that. So why are you complaining about your paycheck now? Why are you complaining about your $2,000 paycheck, your $5,000 paycheck? But yet you want and you think you deserve a $10,000 paycheck? you're not even grateful for what you have. How is God supposed to bless you with so much more when he's given you so much already and you are just like spitting on it? Like, no. And you're frustrated. You open your prelims and you're pissed. You're mad. Stay as far away from frustration as possible, she said. Stay away from frustration, because you know what frustration brings? Fear. And you know what fear brings? Paralyzation. Staying stuck. Feeling like you're not going anywhere. Feeling like you are literally so stuck in your business. Now, I'm not talking about mindset. I'm talking about your team. I'm talking about your business. I'm talking about your rank. You're feeling stuck, right? Are you grateful? Truly, is the first thing that you feel is gratefulness. Because if it's not, it needs to be. It needs to be. Because guys, there are girls that are out there that are praying that they can get the $99 to start this business. And let's be honest, you didn't have a weekly bonus before you started this business, right? You didn't have weekly bonuses drop. Some of you are like, mine are. I had somebody message me. I'm not going to say who it is. She's like, girl, you're so amazing. I wish I could have $500 weekly bonuses. And I saw that she got a $49 one. And I was like, wow, she's not even grateful for the 49. How are you supposed to get 500 when you're looking at 49 and you're like, oh my God, this sucks? Stop it. I'm going to be the first one to tell you to knock it off. This business is a huge freaking blessing. And you can have so much more if you were just grateful. If you were just so grateful. The first feeling should be grateful, not frustration, not pissy, grateful. So we need to get back to that, is being grateful. And I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to pass it off to Nay. I want to also say that something that really the moment she said it, I was 100% guilty. She goes, how many of you feel like you really know your teams? And I was like, me. I was like, I know my girls. I know everybody. She was like, do you know when their husband's birthday is? I was like, what? I was like, is she joking? I was sitting there and I look at Nay and I'm like, oh God. I was like, is she screwing with us right now? She was like, and Cammie literally got up and spoke, and she goes, I send a birthday card to every single husband on like for my girls. And I send them a birthday card. Every single one of them on my team. I was like, what? You send the husband's birthday cards? How incredible. How amazing. She knows their names. She knows their birthdays. Amber was like, how many of you don't even know, like, you know, the new girls that are joining your business? Do you even know their kids' names? Do you know their dogs' names? Do you know how old they are? And that hit me square in the face. Some of you are like, I know how old they are. It says it on their application. No, no. Do you actually know your girls? Are you starting to know them? And I'm not saying, for those of you that are like, I don't like getting on calls, or that's not what works for me. That's fine. That's fine. Do what works for you in your business. But I'm telling you to get to know your girls, because connections are everything. It is literally the difference between a girl staying forever and a girl leaving tomorrow. You have to know them. You have to want to get to know them, guys. We say that this is a family, but yet you don't even know anything about them. And again, I'm guilty of this. I'm not even just saying this to you guys. I'm saying this to me. Because yeah, when new girls join me, I'm like, all right, let's go with the business. I'm not like, what's your kid's name? That's not my first question, but it probably should be, right? I'm saying this because literally this business is my everything. This business is my everything. It's given me everything. It's changed my entire life. And do you know how much it would hurt me if my leader literally didn't know my dog's name or didn't know my fiance's name? You know how much that would bother me? That she never asked? Never cared to know at all? Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Put yourself in their shoes. Because I promise you that the moment we start to make connections with our girls, you're going to watch the retention rate of them staying be so much better. Be so much better. Because the way that Cammie talks about her girls, they're not going anywhere, guys. Some of you guys are like, oh my God, my girls are quitting on me, or I'm scared they're going to quit on me. Well, maybe if you got to know them, you wouldn't even be scared at all. Because I can tell you right now that my leader's not scared. She knows I'm not going anywhere. But she has taken time to get to know me from the beginning. So and that not even just in downline, you know what I mean? Like, or not even just personally enrolled, but in downline. Get to know your team. Get to know your girls. I'm not saying that you guys have to go out and host huge leadership retreats in Texas and spend all this money. A quick phone call, right? A quick browse through their Facebook page. How many of you guys do that? I don't. Do you guys see what I'm saying? You're wanting these new girls to pop off, and you're wanting this amazing team, and you're wanting leaders who stay, but you're not even appreciating and staying grateful for the ones that you have and showing love and appreciation and recognition for the girls that you have. So take that and realize maybe why you're not leveling up, or you're not receiving the things that you say that you want, because you're not taking the steps necessary to get what you want. All right, Nay, I'm going to let you go next, and I'm going to unmute you.
Hey, wow, that was so good. I loved the paycheck part. Like when Amber said that, I was like, man, and then we opened up our prelims all together in our rooms, and we were just grateful, even if some of ours dropped or went up, we were grateful no matter what, because man, what we can do through this business, a lot of people don't do at a full-time job with their master's degree. I mean, my sister has a master's. She just graduated school, is getting a full-time job. And what she's getting paid a year, I'm like mind blown for someone who worked so hard to get their master's, but that's besides the point. But I'm going to talk a little bit about some stuff. I have notes that I'm going to be reading off of because this is really good stuff. But this weekend, the biggest aha moment for me was like, we are a part of like the best company ever, because I've been to a ton of top 20 retreats, meaning the top 20 income earners in our company who are making the top 20 most highest paychecks go, right? So it's like, all the VIPs, ambassadors, it's like usually the same people, right? But this weekend, no, this wasn't income wise. This wasn't per rank. This invite to the ranch, there was a Ruby there, a freaking Ruby. Okay. Like that was one of my biggest aha moments, is like, there was a bunch of different ranks and different people at our CEO's house. Okay. And that's the other thing too, is like, man, this guy and his wife are incredible. They opened up their house to strangers. Okay. There's some of them that they know because, there's leaders who have been in for years. They've been to events where they got to really connect with them. But I mean, probably 50% of the people there, they had no idea who they were, but they let them into their home. I mean, how many of you would be like, hey, like, let 50 people into your home. Like, let's invite them all over. But guys, we are in a part of something so special with this company. And it was so incredible to see that there wasn't only ambassadors. Like I said, there wasn't only top 20. It was anyone that got to earn this spot to go was there, between rubies, emeralds, diamonds, doubles, and ambassadors, and presidentials and triples. It was just like, that was like my biggest aha moment, is that anyone can, and the island, the tracker that's on your eSuite, anyone can earn that. I don't care if you've been in for a month, 2 weeks, anyone can go. There was a couple there the weekend prior to us, and they had been in since I think January, and they were there at the ranch. Like, how incredible is that? But I'm going to read this story that Mark told us, that it was like, me and Britt were actually talking in our room alone, and we were just like, wow, this is it. Like, this was our aha moment that we shared, and she's going to piggyback off of me a little bit. But the story goes like this. A woman wanted to climb a mountain, but kept failing as she climbed. Over and over, she had to to come back down the mountain, feeling super defeated. Nevertheless, she persisted and continued to try to climb the mountain. When asked why she kept trying, even though she kept failing, she said, the mountain isn't any bigger. It's the same mountain, but every time I climb the mountain, I'm different. I'm stronger each climb. And it's crazy because 6 years ago, I joined this business and I'm on a different journey right now with my 2.0. And I continuously feel like I put my goals out there. I'm speaking it into existence and I'm falling short of my goals on my 2.0. And I constantly feel like this mountain is like getting bigger and bigger, but it's not. It's the same exact mountain I'm trying to climb as I did 6 years ago when I joined this business. And within 3 years, I went ambassador. So the mountain on my 2.0 that I keep continuously feeling like, oh my gosh, I keep falling short. I keep falling back down. I can't get to the next level. I can't get to the next rank. It's the same freaking mountain that I climbed 6 years ago when I joined and I climbed the ranks. So why do I feel like this mountain is so much different and so much bigger this time around when it's the same thing that I did 6 years ago? Like, does anyone else feel like that? Like what they're doing now seems so much harder than what they did a couple years ago or a couple months ago. And then another thing is that he talked about being a climber, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, one of you, but he talked about being a climber or a camper on this mountain. And then he said, you know, the climber is going to continuously keep going, climbing this mountain. And no matter what like comes his way, he's just going to keep climbing. But then there's the campers that just camp out at the mountain and don't keep moving forward. I mean, and don't keep going backwards, but they're just staying where they're at. And then he goes, which one are you? And if you're asking and if you have to ask yourself, oh, am I the camper, the one that's just comfortable, relaxing at where I'm working, but I'm just camping where I'm at? If you have to ask yourself if you're a camper, you're a camper. And I'm sitting there asking myself, am I camping? And I'm like, man, like I feel like I'm not because I'm constantly working my business. But then me and Britt were talking in the room. And this is another thing too, that, you know, what I love about our company is I was taught to dream through It Works. Because before It Works, Haley freaking asked me in the bus the other day. She's like, what did you want to be when you grew up? Like what, like, and she's like talking about all these like awesome things that she wanted to do. And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't have like anything, a dream that I wanted to be when I grew up because I never was taught to dream. But coming into this company, they taught me to dream. They taught me to want things. They taught me to go after what I wanted. And no dream is too big or too small, just to go for it. But then me and Britt are talking in the room and we're saying, you know, and then, well, back to what I was saying. So we were taught to dream. And now we have to continue re-dreaming because you dream when you first come into this company and you're learning all these new things. But then when you accomplish a ton of things, like I have within 6 years of the company, I have to continuously keep re-dreaming. And I feel like right now, I was saying this to Britt, I'm like, I asked her, I was like, can you think of one thing that you like really want right now and that you're really working towards? And then she asked me and I was like, not really, you know? So I'm here to admit that I've been camping. Maybe I haven't been freaking like dreaming, like I haven't been re-dreaming and wanting more and wanting bigger things and wanting that next big thing, whether it's a promotion, whether it's the next me on my team, whether it's, you know, anything. It could literally be the littlest thing or the biggest thing that you've been wanting, you know, ask yourself right now, if you've accomplished a couple dreams, have you re-dreamed again? Have you been thinking about the next thing that you really want to work towards, to bless someone else or to bless you or to pay off debt or to have a huge savings, to buy a house? Like, and I'm very goal driven. Not everyone's the same. So, but I am. And if I'm not constantly dreaming and wanting the next thing, I have nothing to work towards. So shame on me for not redreaming, because we constantly need to do that. Just because you've accomplished all these things doesn't mean you stop there, you know? And then the other thing too is I need to set the example for my team, and I need to keep dreaming and wanting the next best thing. Because look at Mark. He has freaking an island. He has this 5,000 acres of land. He has a helicopter. He has the nicest cars. Like, he has like everything someone who is super materialistic could possibly want. But he keeps going because he's not selfish. If he stops, we stop. And if I stop, my team stops. So if you're not constantly dreaming, if you're not constantly working, and if you're not constantly climbing the mountain, you're being selfish, because you're letting yourself down and you're letting your team down as well. Something else too. Let's see here. So I wrote down that I'm ready to stop speaking life into past negatives. I'm ready to stop staying comfortable, because that's what I feel like I've been. I've been a camper. I've been just camping comfortably where I'm at and not totally pursuing the next thing. Let's see here. I'm no longer, I wrote these things down because I just want to read off of it for you guys, but I'm no longer staying stuck on things that are over with. Okay, because how many of us dwell on things, especially in our business? I know there's things in life, but we're talking business right now. How many times do we dwell over things that happened 3 months ago with a team member on our team that quit, left on us, or that didn't answer a text from us, or a check that sucked 3 months ago? How many of us dwell on those things and are still dwelling on it today? I'm no longer breathing life into issues that made me mad 3 months ago. We address the current circumstance and we move forward. And then I wonder how many of you are stuck right now. You're comfortable. You're still caught up with 2020 and how bad it sucked. You're thinking of all the things going wrong right now instead of all that you are and all that you have. And that circles back into gratefulness and just being grateful for where you're at, what you have, and still working towards the next thing. Because just like Haley said, if you're not grateful for what you have now, God's not going to bless the next best thing for you. Because if you're not grateful with the paycheck you have now, how are you going to expect to work towards double of what you have, what you're earning, or triple or quadruple of what you're earning? You're not. You may just go backwards or stay where you're at right now. So I would suggest you guys to just, keep climbing that mountain, even if you keep failing, because you'll never lose if you're just continuously climbing. You'll lose if you're continuously camping. You'll get left behind and you'll just stay comfortable where you're at, and you might just fall short. So I'm going to let Britt talk, but I wanted you guys to know that, coming home from the past couple of days that we had, I already know our company's incredible. I already know all that we have to offer, but we are in the best company ever because these people care about us. They want what's best for us. And the fact that our CEO has done multiple winner circles like this all throughout the year to just continue to bring us closer to him and the fire and keeping us lit is something so incredible. So I can't wait to see who gets announced going to the island. I'm so excited to just see new, different people get to experience these things that we have the past couple of days. And yeah, all right, Britt, you can go.
Hey guys. So I'm going to just kind of piggyback off of Nay because we have similar aha moments. But I want to talk to my corporate America people because I was in corporate America for so long. I worked at Stop and Shop for 8 years. I worked at Wells Fargo. And I just want to say this in a corporate America term. I never once went to my manager's house or the CEO's house. Like, can we just put into perspective him opening his doors to all these people, not just this winner circle, but multiple other winner circle of people of all ranks. And when I was speaking to him, I said, my aha moment was seeing how much he loves on his people. So this kind of wasn't where I was going to go, but it came to my attention that if you're not loving on your team and you're not loving on your people, you don't need to have them over your house. But if you're not loving on them, they aren't going to want to stay. I think a big part of the great leaders that have been around for so many years. I mean, he has dedicated loyal leaders that have been here for so long because he loves on them in different ways. And one of the ways is obviously getting them close to him and, welcoming not only them, but their team and people that aren't, those leaders that have been around forever, but new blood. So just remember that when you're having conversations with either new teammates or teammates that have been around a long time, going back to what Haley said, get to know them. I'm really yellow. I want to say that I do get to know my team, but there are so many more things that I could be doing. And that was really eye-opening for me. And then another thing I want to talk about is camping. I was sitting there as he was having this conversation, and the first thing I thought was, am I camping? And I just kind of like sat there for a second because, I realized I was, it's easy to camp. Okay. It's hard to keep going. And when you're camping, it's not that you're not working or you're not striving, but you're not putting frustration and fear aside. You're almost just saying things like, well, I'm paying my bills. I achieved all this, and you're living in the past. Drop a one if you've been living in the past. You've been bragging about that last promotion. You've been saying, well, it pays $500 extra a month. That's allowing me to do this. Well, I, worked really hard and it just didn't happen. If you're saying things like that, guys, you're camping. And if you're even, when they first brought it up and you were thinking about it, and you're like, am I camping? You are most definitely camping. And I think that there's always a point in everybody's business that they camp a little, right? I feel like Triple Diamond for me, it was a big step. It surpassed my corporate America income. I'm comfortable. My bills are paid. There's so many reasons to camp, but it's so selfish of me. It's allowing my team to camp. It's allowing me to set this example that it's okay to not dream. And if I'm not redreaming, just like Naira said, then nobody else on my team is going to redream. So I know that I'm kind of reiterating, but this is so important to understand. Even if you just started and you hit your first goal, maybe it was a shopping spree, it was $150 shopping spree, and you hit it and you're like, okay, well, I did it. Keep going, redream, find something else that you want. Do you want an extra $100 for getting your nails done, your hair done, paying a phone bill, whatever the case may be? Just keep redreaming so that you can keep growing within this business. And then also just realize, obviously we always want to be grateful. I'm always grateful for where I am. There's definitely a fine line though between being grateful for where you are and settling, right? Like you can be grateful for that paycheck because you haven't quite met your goals yet, but don't stop. Don't just hang out and allow yourself to be frustrated or live in fear or, just kind of get by because that's easy. Make sure that you are constantly redreaming. Make sure that you're constantly going for that next goal. And like they both said, Nara said, the mountain isn't any different. It gets, you get stronger each time you go up it. Maybe you set a goal to hit a rank last month and it didn't happen, but guess what? You learned something. I'm sure you learned something. Even if you lost a teammate, let's say you lost a teammate and you were so disappointed that this person quit on you, you learned how to continue without a teammate. And it's going to happen again. You're going to lose more people along the way. And you're going to have, not enough BV sometimes. And there's going to be so many things that come along throughout your journey. But as long as you're learning through them, that mountain's going to be the same. And one day you are going to reach your goal because you are pursuing it and you're not just camping out. Let me just make sure I went over everything that I wanted to. And lastly, guys, just make sure that you're duplicating, you're seeing what you need to get done, you're getting off of this Zoom and you're really taking action. See it, do it, teach it. So you're seeing right now all the things that we're saying. Go do it and then teach your team to do it, because that's how you're really going to see success here. And I just am so excited for all the things that are coming. And I'm so proud of each one of you that got on tonight. And I know we have more people speaking, but I just wanted to say that because I know you're taking time out of your night. So thank you. Who's next?
Hi, you guys.
Hold on, babe. You're muted. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, wait. Maybe her Wi-Fi is acting up. Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Oh, are you back? Did that work? Are you good? Oh my gosh. It totally just cut out real quick. I think you're good though.
People say they can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now. It totally cut out, but you're good. You're good. You go.
Okay, perfect. Hi guys, I'm Elisa. Drop a fire emoji if you guys have got some value so far tonight. I'm so excited. I had so many aha moments on the Zoom too, but my biggest aha moment, honestly, throughout the trip was Emily and I were talking in our room till like 2 a.m, and I was just picking her brain, asking her a bunch of questions. And I don't remember like how it came up, but basically she was like, I'm always doing something to stretch myself out of my comfort zone. And it stuck with me because then she opened Relentless and highlighted that exact quote. Like she opened to that very page and she saw that quote and was like, whoa, it was weird. So the next day we were basically like, there was a panel, an amazing panel led by the field team. And they asked people to go on stage and share an aha moment. Like you could volunteer and do that. And like, I don't even remember doing it, but I walked up there and shared and I was nervous as heck. Like I was like, what is happening? Totally blacked out. Don't remember doing it. But that like whole trip, I just kind of made it a priority to stretch myself like every moment I possibly could. And that's huge because how many of us like say like, okay, like I'm doing the KPI list every day. Like I'm sending my messages every day. I'm getting my host posts up every day, but are you doing something that makes you uncomfortable every day? And for an example, like for me, that's getting on FaceTime with my potentials or my new distributors. That's, shouting someone out and like calling them out on what they're doing great or having those hard conversations. Like how many of you, your newbies or even like your leaders, like you need to have that tough conversation on where they could improve. Like that scares the heck out of me, but I'm starting to go out of my comfort zone and do that and have those hard conversations, send those audio messages, make that phone call. I never do this, but I called like a bunch of my newer girls in the airport next to Emily. And I was like, I never do this, but like, I'm going to start doing this. So make it a priority to stretch yourself every single day. Like it's been freaking incredible. Like I feel this like whole new fire. I also just like I have a lot of quotes from this panel too. Something Margarita said that stuck with me was, your girls work for a check, but they'll die for recognition. And that isn't necessarily like, like a gift when they go diamond. Like it could be shouting them out when they get their first customer or even getting their host to post up for the first time. So really like creating that kind of recognition program. How are you recognizing your girls for their small wins? Whether it's sending those birthday cards to them and their husbands, something like that. But the other thing, sorry, I have like so many notes. Totally lost it. Basically, it was a lot of leadership stuff. So something that really stuck with me, because I've definitely done this before, is that your team doesn't get to be the leader they're made to be if you're always overshadowing them. So how many of you are reds in here? Because I'm pretty red green. So I'm one of those leaders who like constantly like steps in and does things because it's quicker or it's easier, or you're afraid of what's going to go wrong. That's me. But the thing is, like, your girls are not going to gain confidence if they don't do things themselves. And what Amber Parker said was, your team will either soar or they'll fall and come back and ask you for help. But either way, you can't take it personally. that's just their own growth journey. And that like stuck with me so much. I really just had like a lot of aha moments. This whole trip was an entire aha moment. I've been in this business for 4.5 years, but I haven't been to an in-person event in over 2 years. How many of you guys are a stay-at-home mom, or you have stay-at-home moms on your team? I know I have like a ton of stay-at-home moms on my team, so I should see you guys. But you know, like something that I feel like I took for granted before I became a mom was having adult conversation. Like something so small. Like I love being a stay-at-home mom. I'm blessed to spend every single day with my daughter, and I'm so grateful that I get to do that. But that in-person connection is everything. And obviously, like it's been hard to have in-person corporate events, right? But what's really important is meeting with your girls in person, whether you have a local team or whether you're just hopping on Zoom and getting to know them. All of that's really, really important to stay close to that fire. Like I felt a whole new fire just being here with these girls. Like they're amazing. They're amazing. And just getting to connect with people. And what's really interesting, or like not even interesting, but was just like humbling, I guess, was that ambassadors, top income earners, you know, like just having to have regular conversations, like they're real regular people, you know. And I feel like sometimes we like make them to be celebrities in our head, and that's not the case. And then there's one other thing I wanted to say, but I can't remember. Oh, don't be a victim to your circumstances, and don't always be that person who's blaming everyone else or everything else around you. Be empowered to make a change. You know, acknowledge what the circumstances are, but how are you going to problem solve moving forward? And something that I love that Cammie said, and that'll be my last thing that I leave with, is, you know, we all, there's frustration exists, right? But don't sit in it. And, you know, I used to be, oh goodness, like it's crazy because I used to be Emily's like probably worst distributor. Like I was constantly negative, constantly complaining. Like I was rough. And so like I sometimes get those people on our team. I feel like we all have those people on our team. And so a really good like thing to say, because you don't just want to problem solve all the time, but give them the option. Do you need a listening ear, or do you want to do something about it? And then you know how to respond. So it's crazy to see 4.5 years what it's done. But yeah, so with that, we'll move on to M.
Hi, do you hear me? I was looking for myself at the top, and I realized like I'm the main attraction right now. I was typing in the chat, do you need a listening ear, or are you ready to do something about it? Because that was really good. And I think you were the only one that mentioned that actually out of everyone. And I think that is extremely powerful. And we'll go into like one of the things that I wrote down too about like creating like connections with your team. By the way, if you guys don't know me, my name's Emily. And but that's just so good. And I think that a lot of the times trying to like find that balance between like being a leader but also like being a friend is sometimes it's definitely tricky, you know. It definitely takes practice and it takes some time. So I would save that and I would use it because it's just extremely powerful. Okay, so I was taking so many notes because I want to like work off of what some of the girls have said already. But I kind of want to start off, I'm going to start off with just like the main thing that I really wanted to talk about because it's so true. And I'm also like speaking this to myself as well. But we were like all sitting around the fireplace at the ranch and we were all talking, and Amanda Boucher spoke, and she spoke about getting to events. And most of us know, right? We even talked about it tonight, how important it is to get to events, right? We always preach it to you guys, and we preach it like y'all hear it all the time. We post where, you know, I mention it on Zooms, and whether or not you've been to a event, or you haven't, hands down, it really is the most important thing. I mean, truly, when it comes down to it, it is, you know. And I know there's been circumstances in the last year for sure, but I'm not here to like, I'm not here to sugarcoat things anymore. You have to get to events, right? And basically what she said was, because she was at top 20 retreat in January, and then she made both the winner's circle the past 2 months, and she spoke, and she's like, you know, she doesn't just like work her booty off to get to events because of like the recognition, right? She doesn't just get there just because, like, you know, to inspire her team to get there, right? Maybe she's a red and she likes competition. Great. I'm sure some of you guys are, many of us are, but truly when it comes down to it, it's the environment, right? Like, guys, check your circle. Seriously, I know that I'm speaking this to myself too. Seriously, there are many times where I'm like, well, like I have to ask myself, like, Emily, check your circle. Like, are you hanging around and surrounding yourself with people who are going to level you up, or are they trying to bring you down to their level? Right. And personally, for me, this was one of the hardest things for me, because you know what? I wasn't hanging around people who like were in positions in their life or had the attitude that like I wanted to stay. I didn't want to stay there, and they weren't leveling up. So I had to make the decision to level up myself. Right. So really, really, really check your circle. And again, I'm not sugarcoating it. It's extremely important. One way you can do that is by getting to events. So we have, you know, this actually kind of goes along with, I think Nay was talking about it doesn't matter what rank you are, like whatever competition or giveaway that we're doing, like you guys got to run for it. You do. There's no excuse in any way, shape, or form. Like there was rubies there. There's people who just promoted to diamond who were there. Like you can 1000% be there. But regardless, we all can't be there, just being realistic, right? So what can you do? Well, we just started doing in-person events again. We have a try it in Florida at the end of this month. If you're close, there's no excuse. You should be there. Like if you have to take a little road trip, get there, right? Like honestly, it truly is. And I'm sure each and every one of you on here who have been to an event can like vouch for me, right? And I don't think you would fully understand it until you get there. So just trust the sis. But anyways, okay, so I know it's almost 10 o'clock, but I'm going to go over as much as I can, as quick as I can, without rushing through it as much. So I want to kind of talk about really quick a little bit about what Nate was talking about being grateful, because this is also extremely important. Everything I'm going to talk about is really so important, and things that have personally helped me truly get to that like ultimate next level, right? Pretty much like these are extremely important breakthroughs that I personally have had, and things that I also have to remind myself with too, right? So I typed it in the chat before, but what I said was, if you're not grateful for $1, God is not going to bless you for $2 with $2. If you're not grateful for $500, God is not going to bless you with $600. If you're not grateful for, guys, I got like a 7, I didn't even get a first paycheck when I joined because it wasn't enough to transfer over. I think it was like $12. If you're not grateful for $12, God is not going to bless you for $13. He's not. It's not, you know. And, you know, I get that sometimes, you know, is business. Sometimes your paycheck will skyrocket. Sometimes maybe it'll stay the same. Sometimes it'll drop, right? Regardless, you got to be grateful for it, right? You just have to, because again, if you're not grateful for $1, God is not going to bless you with 2 of them. Hi, goodbye. Love you. Bye. Sorry, guys. He wanted to show me his mustache right now. Anyways, another thing that I wrote in the chat, and I'm repeating these things because again, it's so stinking powerful, but frustration brings fear, and then fear is going to create paralyzation, right? So when you're not grateful for that $1 or for that 200, 300, or even for that 2,000, right? That's going to create frustration, and that's where paralyzation is going to come in. Okay, so this is so good. And I was just talking to someone today for like an hour on the phone. I don't know if you're on here, I'm not gonna say your name, about connecting with your team. And I know like some of the girls talked about it. But I want you guys to ask yourself how well you know your team, because this is going to be a game changer for you. And again, I'm talking to myself as well. Like I always have to be reminding myself these things, because sometimes we just get caught up in all the stuff, you know? And this also goes along with being grateful too. So I took so many notes, I apologize, and be looking. And the conversation was about like leadership and like life, like leadership, friendship, or like the business. Like you guys know, like when it's so we work from home, right? So it's like 1 second I'm a leader of a business, and the next second I'm a wife. Like what? Sometimes it gets confusing, sometimes it gets tough, right? So going more into like your team personally, listen, I don't care if you're yellow or not, it doesn't matter. This is for every single person on here right now. But this is something that you can ask yourself to maybe help you if you have questions along with like leadership, or like, I don't know, just duplication among your team. And I so relate to Cammie when she brought this up at when we were there this past week. So when was the last time you called someone on your team and you asked them how like their dog's surgery went? Like, I'm being serious. Or you asked them how their mom's birthday party was the other day. Like, I'm telling you, it's something that is so powerful. And I have more notes, but I'm just gonna like tell a really quick story. I still talk to people who quit the business like a year ago. Like I'll comment on their photos, I'll celebrate their wins, like, and I've been doing this for a while, and maybe I do have this from the yellow in me, which I'm very grateful for, but hopefully it can help you guys with it too. But you know, I get these questions all the time about like, you know, this person's going through this, but like she's a key player on my team, and like I need her like to promote and be there. But guys, it's not their promotion, it's yours, right? And mental health is like a real thing. So knowing that you're there for someone when they're going through maybe a certain time, and perhaps you need to let them go, the make or break of them coming back to you when they're ready to do this business is how you're going to react to the situation of what's going on in their life. So I really want you to keep that in mind. All right, try to speed it up a little bit. Oh, okay. When we were talking about, when Mark said the story about the mountain, and do you guys remember the mountain, the girls climbing up the mountain, and it's the same mountain? I don't know exactly how you said the story, but you guys got that? So Morgan Martin said something so like crazy, because I was thinking the same exact thing, and she spoke and she shared about it. And she was like, this was like the day after, I think, when we were at corporate, and she's like, you know, when you were telling the story about the girl up the mountain, she was like, I was cheering that girl on, and like I had more confidence in her than I do for myself. And this girl isn't even real. It was literally just a story. So like when Mark was telling us the story, Morgan was saying that she was like cheering this girl on who's not even real. It's just a story. And she's like, I was like more confident in her success than I am in myself. Like, I don't even cheer myself on that much, you know, or like, I don't even have that much confidence in myself sometimes, but I do for this like imaginary girl in the story. Right. So I want you guys to really think about that. You know, think about like, are you cheering yourself on? Right. Truly, like, are you celebrating the small moments that you have, not just your team or your downline? Right. Because every little thing counts. It really, really does. And I truly feel like sometimes we're really just our own biggest critics. Right. Can you feel me on that a little bit? Another thing too, another aha moment that I had was me realizing how selfish I've been, because let me tell you, when Mark decided that he was going to move corporate to Florida when they are in Michigan, if he didn't decide to do it when everyone else in the office at the time was rolling their eyes at him, none of us would probably be here right now. Like if he didn't decide, it may not make sense, but it does. Like if he didn't decide to buy an island, I don't know if like I would even be here right now. And you may be thinking, how does that connect? But it does, you know? I mean, if you guys don't know about our Gives Back program, like they've donated millions and like millions of dollars, right? So when we talk about dreaming bigger, it's truly selfish of myself personally, speaking to myself, that if I don't continue to dream bigger and I decide to stay camping, I am hurting my team. I'm hurting you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because not only am I holding myself back, but I'm holding all of you guys back as well. So I hope you guys take that in a different perspective, because truly that was a really big aha moment for me. Let me see. I think I have one more thing and then I'm done. Sorry. Oh, okay. Last thing. Sorry, I know it's 10:01, but this is going to be really good. Okay, so following with Elisa and what she said and what we were talking about, I said this to a few people that I talked to this past weekend. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And I've been having like these weird things happen to me lately. I'm not going to explain it, but long story short, I was telling her the story and I went to go show her how to highlight on a Kindle, and the book Relentless was up, and I like swiped to a page and I put my Apple pen down, and the sentence I highlighted was literally that same thing. Like you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm like, okay, weird stuff is happening to me and this is so freaking powerful. But anyways, going along with that, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the book, The Dream Giver. Anyone here? Drop a one if you've heard of it. If not, I definitely suggest it, but I wanted to finish this off with like three quotes from the book. It's so amazing. It's a really short book, like you can read it in one day. And let me read it super quick. Okay. Are you living your dream, or are you just living your life? Not surprisingly, the place we're most likely to experience testing is exactly where we struggle most to trust God. Courage is not the absence of fear, rather it's choosing to act in spite of the fear. You can say that without fear, you can't have genuine courage. When you do act in courage, you discover that fear doesn't have to stop you. You see that what you thought were your limits are more like starting points. With every step back towards the middle of familiar, ordinary grew more comfortable, but he quickly noticed he was also growing sad again, and he knew why. With every step he took, he was leaving his big dream further behind. It was hard to leave my comfort zone, but it would have been even harder to leave behind my dream, and I'm glad I didn't. So, I mean, those are just like a few quotes, favorite quotes that I love from the book, but like that entire book it's just so good. So I totally suggest it. It's from Bruce Wilkinson. And that is all. I wish I can talk forever, but
No, that was so amazing, Em. Thank you so much. And honestly, guys, can we just please like give a thank you to everybody who spoke tonight? Because I really want you guys to watch this over and over and over again. And please realize like you are meant for so much more. Okay. I want you to know that you're called to always be grateful, but you're not called to settle. You are made for more. You're made for so much more than you are allowing into your life right now. And guys, get back to the basics. How many of you are pushing for these 5 LCs of $100 cash? Drop a 1. How many of you are like, yeah, Haley, I got until midnight and your girl's not going to sleep until she gets the last one because that's all I need. Or maybe you didn't even know about it. There's another one starting at 12:01, midnight o'clock. Literally, it starts the next whole week that you literally, every 5 customers you get $100 cash, guys. I'm here to tell you, you're still good at this. You are good at this. Listen to me for just 5 more seconds. I know we're over time. You're good at this. You can sign people up. You can do this. Stop counting yourself out, for the love of God. People need you. People need you. The world needs you to be yourself, not anybody else. So please start showing up as her every single day. Be better than the person that you were before you got on this Zoom. Be better than you were than the girl who you were yesterday, the girl you were last month. Guys, everybody's E-suite. Amber Parker said this. Everybody's E-suite starts at 0 on the 1st of the month. Starts at 0. Everybody's, not just yours, right? Not just your girls, everybody. Everybody, zoop, reset to 0 at 12:01 on the last day of the month. Everybody is at 0, 101, whatever. Everybody's at 0. So start like you're a new distributor. Start like you're a new distributor. You've got 0 in volume. What's your goals? Who are you going to help promote on your team? That's what it's about. So let's start fresh right now. They said that so many times. You can start fresh. You can be different right now. In this moment, when we get off this Zoom, you can start fresh and be grateful. We love you guys so much, and we are just so, so grateful that you guys got on, and we are so excited to see what you guys do for the rest of the month and for the rest of the freaking year. We know you guys are going to kill it. Just keep the faith and stay grateful, guys. All right, I hope you guys have a great night. Bye, guys.